Alright guys, Path of Exile videos are pretty popular, so I was looking at some other ideas I could talk about, and I came up with maybe another 2 or maybe even 3 hours worth of content, so I'm going to do like another long video today. Talk about some stuff I forgot, and then we're going to get into some build ideas, like how to make builds, how to use websites, what YouTubers to follow maybe, and get into that. I haven't really thought out what YouTubers I want to talk about, so I'm not really prepared to talk about them, but anyway, let's just get right into some stuff that I forgot about last time. I made a new character named Hawkeye Stupid. So, he's a Marauder Chieftain, which is, all this kind of stuff in PoE is kind of based on Pacific Islander kind of mythology, so it's all kind of like Maori based, but I actually don't like that. I wish it was more like Diablo 2, like with some more like medieval kind of. Like there's a Karui axe, which is a big axe with a big piece of jade in it, which kind of looks gay. I wish it was more like a steel and wood. But there are some steel and wood kind of axes, like, let's see, like this one. This looks pretty cool, and this one. See, that one looks more like a Maori kind of a thing, because it's based on Nagamahu. I don't know. So what are we going to talk about first? Let's talk about how to not be a noob. So, first thing you want to do, I see this every now and then, people that I can tell that they're kind of casual players. Craft Chest even does this. The first thing you want to do is go over here to your UI and turn on your map. And this is the map. Let me get to a... I guess this is fine. But when you start out, your map doesn't look like this. Your map probably looks like this, which is cool looking, but you can't even see my character right now. Like, he's underneath all this crap. You can't see him. So it really makes it hard to play like this. If you have it like 50% transparency, it's still not good. So you want to just turn that all the way off. Turn the transparency off, because that's just like the other rocks and trees and garbage that's on the side of the map that you don't really need to see. You just need to see the outline of the lines to see where you're going, so you can know which way to go, so you can get through the maps faster. What's my hideout look like with the map on? Yeah, see, it's like a basic square. And like if I turn that back on, it's all this unnecessary crap that makes it. If you go to what's a map that's like what the heck was it called? Grotto. Tier 7. This is like a cave. I don't know why I had to open the map. I could have just went somewhere in the game. Did it not take it? Oh, good. Let's see, Act 1, Merville's Caverns. So if we turn that on, you gotta save it. You can also zoom the map way in. I don't know why you'd want to do that. And zoom it all the way out. Transparency. Landscape transparency. Do the map transparency up. So as you move through the map, watch my map, like the edges of it changes, revealing it. It's not showing you a bunch of weird shit. Just showing you where you need to go. Like, see, there's a path there, path down here. Now if you had it turned on, look how much more confusing it is. You got these little yellow things that show you where the doorways are. Maybe that's handier. But I don't like playing like this because it's really confusing. Another thing you want to do is item stats. There's this thing. Is it in the UI? Auto equip. You want to turn that off if you're playing a facebreaker build, because you have to have your hands empty to. Or there's also a unique gem that lets you do more damage if you don't have any gloves or any weapons at all equipped. So if you're playing around your auto equip, you're going to pick up stuff and it's going to lower your damage because you're using a weapon all of a sudden. What is it called? Advanced mod descriptions. You're going to turn that on, because right now this shows me the item level. If I hit Alt on something, it just changes. It just shows you the item level. If you put it on advanced mod descriptions, now look at it. You get to see what tier the mods are. These are all like blues. Let's look at a rare. Look at this. It shows me like I got a tier 6 prefix, a tier 8 prefix, a tier 5, tier 4, and a tier 6. So if you want to know if mods are good on something, you can't really tell unless you just memorize like 40 plus is good for like elemental resist, like 100 something is good for like health. Energy shield, kind of weird, but like it's important to know like if you have something that's valuable, because otherwise you might just trade it away. Also, you need to know like which stats to keep, which stats to re-roll if you're doing some crafting, which we'll be talking about in another video. But what else am I going to talk about? Let me get to a safe area because I'm just like out here with monsters attacking. Oh, there are barrels in the middle of this. This is kind of a new character, so I don't have any good movement speed yet. Prophecy or league challenges. Let's talk about league challenges. Why do you want to make a new character every time the league resets when you've got this character you've been working on for months in standard, as opposed to just playing on standard? Well, the currency and the economy always refreshes with a new league, for one thing. Standard I think it kind of stays about the same all the time, but I don't know for sure. But also you can get these extra rewards here from these challenges. Right now, I didn't even know I had 12 completed, but you get a helmet. Oh, these are helmets for your followers. Oh yeah, I did get this. This is like the lion helmet, and these other two. And then if you get, that was for having 12. If you get 24 challenges, you get this cat pet. And if you get 36 challenges, you get a portal effect. So I actually did the one, no, it wasn't Delph. I bought the portal effect. I don't know if you saw my portal back there, but it was like a cool waterfall kraken looking thing. But if you go to cosmetics over here, you can set your pets. You can set your... I don't have any weapon skins. See, I'm like a cheapo. If I put these on, now I have these cool wings. This is from Delve. One of my... You see these little totem poles here? These are like the rewards of like how far you went into the challenges each league. A lot of people have them like maxed out, like they did every challenge, but I only have like these little short stubby ones because I did like... I know I did more than 3 challenges. Like this is like a 2. Where's my tall ones? Do I have any tall ones? I mean, I got these wings from Delph. Here's your microtransaction stash. It shows everything that you paid for or you unlocked somehow. Like even like Herald of Purity, I can change it to this. So now when I hit things, it'll have like these guys show up with these big fans instead of having the swords or whatever they normally have. Herald of Purity's on. Oh shit, they're doing some serious damage to me. I might die. What is happening right now? Isn't that supposed to be on that? Oh, I switched my damn weapons. Where'd my followers go? Yeah, see these guys here with these big banjo fans? If I turn that off to default, that's what they normally look like. They have these staves. So there's like all kinds of customization and things you can do with microtransactions. So that's one reason to play the new league. Also, you get a new league mechanic, which is going to be later incorporated into the old content, so you want to learn it. This mechanic is, you get these things here called rogues markers, and then you click them. Only be used in town or hideout. I did not know that. So you go to hideout. You can also unlock hideouts if you don't have this one here, or this is the best one. But there's other ones you can find. Some of them are super rare. You can also buy really expensive ones, like the ones like top of a mountain. I think I already showed you the guys this, did I? The followers. Yeah, I showed you. I talked about this a little bit, like how you run. Oh, let me just do this. I gotta show you what this new league content is really about. I'll do. Yeah, this is my ED Contagion build. Now, when I talk about the builds, a lot of them are like left click, or they're just like one click skills. You click your right click and you just move on and you go through. Especially if you're like a self-casting spellcaster or you're like a melee build. So, What that means is you're casting your spells yourself instead of like having them trigger from another effect. This is the portal I was talking about. I already showed you that. Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. This is what you call like a two skill build kind of. I'm gonna go to the tunnels. Let me pick like a 76. I think this will be survivable maybe, but also real dangerous. This is gonna be nuts. So this is something somebody figured out, that like tunnels and underbelly were really good for leveling.
Seems straightforward enough.
Because I'll show you there's a trick to it. This is a demolition, which I don't really like because it takes longer. Also be careful not to click the portal you just came into when you do these, because... Okay, so here's how this skill works. I've got this wand on right now. That's just like a bad example. Normally you'd want to cast contagion on something yourself, and then you would shoot this little ball. See this one little ball? Normally people have multiple projectiles, like they shoot 5 or more things at once. This is like one tiny little ball, because this is based on you kill one little thing and it spreads with the contagion to everything else around it. And I've got it automatically casting contagion now when I do anything. So like if I just flame dash, see it just cast a contagion. If I shoot the little ball, it casts contagion. See, when that thing died, it spread to that, and it spread to those things, it spread to that thing. Let me just fight this thing real quick. See, my single target is not really good because it takes a while for me to like melt this thing down. Normally you want to do that way faster. As long as I hit one thing that dies with my little ball, then everything in the whole room should die. And then I've got this veil skill that triggers also sometimes. There's different ways of doing it, but Trickster is one of the best classes. I'll tell you why in a second. I'll talk about the builds. See, this is a league that they kind of started out with it working right, where every time you kill things, it would increase your alert level. And you'd have to be careful not to open too many chests or like kill too many things, because it would lock down the whole map. You couldn't get all the treasure, so you'd have to be real careful about doing it. But there's no way to like stealth in this game, so you're pretty much forced to kill everything. So they got rid of that, and they haven't really been able to work around it because of the coronavirus, and everybody's kind of like stuck at home. They're not able to like do stuff like they normally do. You see how everything in that chest just duplicated? Like I got 2 crypt armors, I had 4 Viridian jewels. That's a thing of when Derry, this guy that's following me, he does that. So what people have been doing is abusing that mechanic with these trinkets that convert your chromatics into like exalts or something like that, or chromatics to chaos or regals to exalts. You get duplicated currency, which makes the whole economy crash, but I think it's recovered now. I think exalts are back up to like 60 chaos. I think they might have started banning a bunch of Chinese bots or something that were really abusing it.
You're not seeing what the item is.
Stop hitting me, you nitwit! I have bombs.
Also, what you want to do with these is, I'll show you. I'm going to hit this receptacle here, which that takes my alert level almost up to max. And I'm not going to open this yet, this last chest. I'm not going to open this little chest right here. I'm going to leave it for after. You're going to go all the way to the end, unlock the last door.
Why stop now?
Okay, now if the last door is open, we can run straight to it. So we want to go all the way back. This is how you min-max your amount of chests that you get out of this. This isn't how I was talking about. I'll show you what I meant before about tunnels being really good. I'll show you. You don't do the map like you normally would. You don't just like get the loot and run out. That's what you normally would do. So I get that one, that sets off the alert, and I get another chest on the way back to the thing. I could have got another one if there was like 2 in line. And then you grab the loot, and then you make for the exit. So what you want to do is open up all the doors first. Because if you don't open up the doors, shit's going to get nutty real fast. Tunnels are really good though because they respawn shitloads. See this little thing here? It's like a little machine that just generates minions. Path of Exile XP is weird because you don't get XP based on the thing you killed, like how hard it was to kill or how high level it was. It's based on how many things you kill. So like a lot of little things is way more XP than one big thing. And you get these treasure rooms open like this. They spawn a shitload of these auto defender guardian robots. And they shoot out these big Kamehameha blasts, which are real bad. And they do this laser attack that's pretty bad. But if you can dodge it and stay alive, you can get massive XPs. My XP is a little over half right now. You can see it moving. You just watch this whole room get wrecked by my contagion. It's just spreading in there like a plague. I just shoot one little ball in there. Everything is like getting wrecked. And I'll go to this other treasure room. A lot more shit. There's a Kamehameha went through me. I got a meatball chasing me. That's not good. I'm also using Bane to do a little extra damage to make things die. Because once they die, that spreads the disease. If they don't die, and you have to wait for them. And that can be dangerous. See that? Like all this purple shit just spreading around? So everybody likes this build. When Legion came out especially, you have to like crack open all the Legion guys. And the way this spreads, it helps you get everybody cracked open faster. So it's really good for that. So now that I'm back to the front, I'm not going out the escape. Normally I want to come here to this ladder and escape, but I'm not doing that. I'm just going to go back and forth, grinding XP. Because I'm already like over 3/4 of the way. I was like a half a level when I started this, right? Look at all the things we're getting. Kill a bunch of stuff over there. Let's go back through here. Should be much more on this one. Yep. So this isn't even really bad. This is like pretty mild compared to what I've been seeing. Imagine like the density on like Act 2 of Diablo 2, right? All the skeletons down in the sewers and like in the pyramid or whatever it was you had to do. Yeah, this all about mob density is how you get your leveling up. You make your efficient maps, you get a lot of extra mobs, and then you kill them fast. Which I'm not really doing it fast either. I'm just showing you like how bad they spawn in this map. They're doing like some Iron Man pulses like that. That's not too bad, unless you stand there in it and just let them keep hitting you with it. What you mainly gotta watch out for is the big sweeping laser and the big black and red balls. See, this room right here, this room right here, and this room right here are all treasure rooms that I opened up the rewards. Even if you didn't open up the reward, as long as the doors have been opened, they'll keep respawning all these dudes like this, and it's pretty nutty. I only got 4 bars to go and I'll level up. So you can't do this forever. It'll kind of like peter off and get diminishing returns after about 3 trips back and forth, 4 trips. At least that's what I've heard. A lot of times I'll get a lot of XP from this and then I'll like get greedy and I'll die. But I'll still have made more XP than what I lost from dying. That's why this game's good. I don't know, does Diablo like that? I can't even remember, like Diablo 2. When you die, like, was there a penalty? Or do you lose XP at all? Because this one, you lose XP when you die. After you get past the tutorial part of 10 acts, there's a risk involved. The higher your level is, the more XP you lose. Or the higher zone you're in when you died, I think is what it's based on. It's almost like the game's starting to get mad at me for being around here. I would pick up those golden brooches, but there's like these foliate brooches, which are the best. And you want to get them like eye level 83 or 4 or something like that. So I'm in an eye level 76 map right now, so there's no way I can even get one. Next time I'm in like a high level 80 something map, I'll look for some. And I gotta get 9 of them because I got 9 followers, so. This isn't even really what this video is supposed to be about. I just like, it's like I'm gonna show them some fucking tunnels. This is a really good trick if you want to level up. Like even if you're like a level 20 something and you get a level 20 something contract for tunnels, I recommend like doing that and like running back and forth. Because my guy, I'm trying to level him up to 30 because it's kind of slow until you get to 30. I tried running some low level tunnel with him. It wasn't that good for low level, but yeah, and I only got 2 bars to go. Now it's getting fucking nutty. Oh god, I got greedy with it. I think we got 2 treasure rooms coming at me at the same time. I think we should cut our losses and make for the exit. I just want to have a peek in here. See, this is what gets exciting. Like, games don't get exciting like this anymore. Games are too watered down. This takes me back to Diablo days. It's kind of shit like this. See that big sweeping laser he just did? That's some dangerous shit. Bunch more crap coming in here. And let's get out of here. We got 2 bars to go. Woo! Okay, and you get to the exit. Your followers don't get any XP unless you get to the exit, by the way. Which is bad. Because all my guys need to be leveled up. This one's actually... Is he max level at 3? That's pretty shitty. He's just like an all-arounder. Let me switch characters so I can show you some more stuff. Yeah, I'll show you this guy. Even though... So let's talk about... Oh, the Bestiary book. That's another thing I forgot to show you. So, beast crafting. It's confusing. Apparently, a lot of people thought that you had to, like, go into your menagerie. The zoo I showed you last time. Like, into these and get these beasts out of them. But apparently, I didn't even know you could do this. You buy this thing off of him. Purchase items. You buy this thing. This is Bestiary Orb. And what you do is you click on that, and then you go to your Bestiary book. This is another cool feature the game has that it's like that divination card thing. It's like a lot of cool shit in it. And you can look through your zoo. How do you even look at? Oh, you pick felines. Shows you how many cats you got. You go to primates. Shows you what cats you got. How do you look at the actual individual ones? I know you can like click on them in here. Captured beasts. Okay, here we go. So this is the whole list of them. The ones that have pictures, I imagine they're like valuable, maybe. So you click on your Bestiary Orb, and then you click on one of these, and it like pulls it right out of your book instead of going into your zoo. And then you can like sell it. If you have a valuable one that you want to sell, you can put it into an item, and then you sell the item. Normally, you'd go to your altar and sacrifice some of this thing. Like I did last time, I showed you how this works. I didn't show you this one. This was a magic item imprint, which is kind of like duping. So if you got an item that has like a tier 1 physical and a tier 1 attack speed, that's like a really good magical item. It's blue. So you can use this, you can make a copy of it, and then you can roll 2 different sets of mods on it if you wanted to do that. Okay, if you needed like the dual wield claws or something. You can't do it with uniques, but it'd be cool if you had like this sword particularly because it has attacks deal double damage. The damage is only 100, but it always does double damage. So if you scale your physical damage, whatever that number is, it doubles it. So this sword is actually good because this build is Flicker Strike, which is a teleport attack on stuff. There's also, I think it's a Bestiary craft where it's a way to like split items, and you take half the mods and you get 2 copies of the item. Let's go to like Act 10, Raver Square or something. How does it work? You can make 2 copies of an item, but you don't know which half of the stats you're going to get or something like that. There's a way to manipulate that. It's really good. Like, watch this shit. Look how fast this guy is. He just teleports around. I'm not going to kill anything, but... By the way, one of the YouTubers I was going to recommend, I don't recommend using him for builds, but he's cool to watch. It's called Fast AF, Fast as Fuck. A lot of his builds use like crazy expensive items, but they all are like super fast like this. So they're cast on crits. Just different kinds of like juiced up builds that are mainly designed for speed. Like right now, Delirium League is what everybody's trying to get in their maps, like the Delirium. And Delirium's all about killing as much stuff in a certain amount of time as you can. So if you do it fast as fuck, then you're going to get way more rewards. So everybody builds like these super fast as fuck builds like this. This isn't even really fast compared to like another YouTuber I recommend is Cute Dog. He does a lot of like auto bomber builds, or he's the guy I think of when I think of auto bomber builds, and a lot of headhunter builds because he gets headhunter like every league in like the first week somehow. I don't know how he does it. Fucking streamers, they get donated all this crap, but like his builds a lot use like this thing called Shackles of the Wretched and this mana flask that never fills up as long as you keep like using it or killing things or something like that. And one of his builds used like the corrupted portal gem, which summons a bunch of breach mobs. And once you get the headhunter, you steal mods off of other mobs. Like you kill things like a rare mob. If it has something like extra speed or extra damage or resist something, you're going to gain that ability. So it only lasts so long. So what you do, you curse yourself with temp chains, so effects on you expire slower. So it makes it last longer. This is like super like 1,000 or around that 2,000 IQ kind of a play, right? You curse yourself with temp chains so that it lasts longer, and then you get something like Calm's Boots, which means your movement speed isn't affected by temp chains. So you're not even getting the downside of the temp chains. It's just pure bonus. Shut up, I'm making a video! I think I'm getting a package in the mail. I need to make a video about some Amazon stuff I got. Let me pause it. Choke my dog up. Got my Amazon package. It's like some cable. I was trying to fix my internet because it was so slow, so I ordered some coax cable and an extra magazine for my air gun. And like I did something to my finger just now. I don't know what it is, but like it hurt. Now it doesn't hurt at all, but it was like hurting real bad. And I pushed on it like right here. I don't know what was going on. Anyway, hope my dog shuts up for a while. Oh yeah, it hurts again. If I grab it on the table, it hurts real bad. Anyway, yeah, Cute Dog made that video or that build. He makes a lot of auto bombers. So it's like hopefully you know about auras and heralds. Lastly, there's a thing called herald stacking because there's this unique cluster jewel, which I don't even get into cluster jewels that much, but like this one, you do damage per herald affecting you or something. I don't know. There's like these rings that make you do extra damage if you have heralds on or certain skills on. And there's this cluster jewel that like made it super OP, and everybody was stacking the fuck out of those heralds. Like Herald of Thunder, because when you crit, it goes off and it kills everything on the screen. And like most people don't even put a lot of links on their heralds, they just run them naked. But if you put it on a 6-link herald or coming calamity armor, it like makes it do way more stuff, makes it reserve less mana, and then you put 6-link on it, and it's like a main skill. So basically you just run through the map and you kill things. And the faster you run, the faster you're going to kill these rare mobs, and you're going to gain their buffs from the headhunter, and it's going to last longer, and you're going to keep all these buffs. So if you watch a video and they have like a shitload of mods up here, like I only have these 3. If the whole screen is full of them, and a lot of them are like the same icon, it's like this little wing trophy looking thing, that's headhunter buffs. You can tell somebody's using a headhunter. And when you have that many buffs, you're pretty much unstoppable, and you'll usually get this thing called Soul Eater, which is like, it makes your character bigger, and what automatically makes your AoE bigger because you're bigger, so you can kill more things on the screen, and your character just like fills up the whole screen. You can't even see what you're doing because your character's in the way. If you see that, somebody's using a headhunter, and juicing is what they call that. I haven't really figured out how to make a juicer build work really good. It's also really expensive because you got to have the headhunter and only have one on standard, but that's something to look into. Belly of the Beast, also a good armor, but it's like corrupted on this one. Bronze Life is an armor that gives you damage with movement skills. So this one's good for Flicker Strike because it's a movement skill. And you also get a lot of frenzy charges. So who else is good to follow on YouTube? Zizarin, I've been following lately. He's been teaching me about defensive layers, which he has a PoE University. It's very similar to what I'm doing right now. I kind of copied him a little bit. But let me show you how some of that works. There's certain item mods you got to look for. On my Trickster or Treester build, it's called Recover Energy Shield on Block. Like normally you got life regeneration and you can get energy shield regeneration, which is, it's okay. And there's another thing called faster start of energy shield recharge. That means when your energy shield goes out, it makes it start to build back up faster. And then if you take damage, it'll pause it. And there's another mod that makes it not do that. Like it keeps filling up even after you take, like damage doesn't interrupt energy shield recharge or something like that. There's also this skill, Wicked Ward. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Energy shield recharge is not interrupted by damage if recharge began recently. Recently means 4 seconds usually. So it also regenerates slower, so it can't be interrupted, but it's going slower, so it makes it keep regenerating, which is kind of good. The thing about this though is a lot of people fuck up. This one's not what I'm talking about, but like this, where is it? Energy shield leech. This one, Ethereal Feast, spell damage leech is energy shield, and there's one up here. Light Eater, spell damage leech is energy shield. Leech only works if you're hitting things. So you'd have to use a spell that you're self-casting, and it's like a projectile maybe, or it has to be a spell that hits, like a fireball. You shoot a fireball and hit something, and you get leech back. If you're using like ED Contagion, the first thing that I hit with the Essence Drain is going to be a hit, and I'll leech like a tiny amount of energy shield. But when that contagion spreads and it kills all those things in a string, that's not just leeching me energy shield because that's not hitting anything. That's just like an effect. Or if you're doing like a ground effect, like I don't know, some like a poison arrow that spreads poison on the ground, that's not going to leech you anything because, well, that's an attack anyway. But if you're doing like a spell, wait, what's that one that like rains fireballs down on the sky? That might actually hit and leech. Or rain of arrows. That's not a spell, but rain of the one my other guy was using earlier, Bladefall. Those things hit, so that would probably leech you energy shield. But you want to look for this mod right here. Recover 5% energy shield when you block, because recover, it doesn't recharge your energy shield slowly. It just instantly, bam, you got it. So if you got a max block, which I have, chance to block is 68%, 75 is max. I'm almost up to max. You're going to be blocking a lot, and you're going to be regenerating your energy shield like constantly. So if I'm standing in the middle of a bunch of mobs, like if I got 10 things around me and I got 68% chance to block, I'm blocking 5 times every second probably. So I'm regaining like how much energy shield? 1250 energy shield every second. Like I'm pretty much unkillable if you're like not getting one shot by a massive amount of damage. So that's why I made this character, is just to like test out this whole thing with the recovering on block. There also might be a recover life on something. There's also like chest pieces that give you life and percent life, which is really good. Just certain mods you can look out for. There's like Tailwind on boots. Those are really valuable. You only get those from like hunter boots. Nearby enemies have minus to resist. I've got like a helmet that has that on it. It's like worth like 12 exalts, something crazy. Gain elemental damage as extra chaos damage can be good, but here's why Trickster particularly is good. I was telling you about my Winter Orb build, right? It does damage based on how many Shaper items you have equipped, and it does ice damage, but it converts it into fire at the end, and then it converts that into chaos. So let me get into some damage conversion. I need to make like a little chart or something. Maybe you guys can just remember this. Damage conversion goes in a certain order from physical to lightning to cold to fire to chaos. That's the only order it can go in. There are certain items that make you do like 50% physical to fire, 50% fire to cold, fizz to lightning, lightning to chaos, all kinds of different like ways to convert damage. But Trickster, ding, right here has this skill: gain non-chaos damage with hits as extra chaos damage. Winter's Orb hits, and it's not chaos damage. So you would convert your ice damage into fire damage, and it would do this chance to gain percentage as extra chaos damage. And then when the fire damage converted into the chaos damage, that's also doing this extra damage. It does it twice. So it's like a double dip conversion. A lot of things don't do that, but non-chaos damage is like every time it changes into something, it gets this bonus damage, which is insane. They had to nerf it the next league because it was too much damage. So they just made Winter Orb, I think, straight up do less damage or something. Or like if you're not standing still, it does less damage. If you're moving around with it, it does less damage or something like that. You also have these things. Energy shield per 6 evasion on body armor. I didn't realize this till like a week ago. This is super sick. So I've been trying to get like crazy Veil Regalias, which is like Siobhan's wrapping is like 306 energy shield. That's not really a lot. But what this does is it lets chaos damage not be able to bypass it. So you can't be like hit by poison or some bullshit chaos that just skips your energy shield and kills you in one hit. So you can use this with this shield, Prism Guardian, reserve all your health and convert as much of your health into energy shield as you can and get a lot of energy shield while also having like a ton of auras on you, because you're not really worried about your energy shield going out because you don't have a lot of health anyway. So it's kind of like you're chaos inoculated, but not really. But you can still run low life. And if you run low life, you can run Pain Attunement, which is 30% more damage when you're on low life. Low life means you're under 30% health, by the way. So you want to reserve as much mana as you can to get under that. So that's pretty good. But then I was trying to get these Veil Regalias. They had like 600-700 ES, which is ridiculous. They're super expensive. But with Trickster, since you get energy shield per evasion on armor, I didn't even think about it. You get one of these hybrid chests like this one. This one has 1,000 evasion and like 300 ES. So with 1,000 evasion, if you do the math, it comes out to be like a 600 or 700 evasion chest. But you also get 1,000 evasion on top of that. So you have like a really crazy high ES chest and also 1,000 evasion. And this one's a Crusader influence, so it can have explodiness on it. Like explode enemies for 3% of their health when you kill them. Which it would be insane if I had that, but I don't. Like I have 7,600 ES now. Put this on. I've got more ES than I have with the chevrons. I got 84, 85. And 1,000 evasion I didn't have before. So this is actually better if I had it like 5 linked or 6 linked. But it wouldn't have the chaos damage it doesn't bypass. So I still get hit by poison and crap. So I'd have to go into chaos inoculation up here. My health becomes 1 and I'm immune completely to chaos damage. You don't have to worry about having 60%. Like I've got a 60% chaos res on this amulet right here, which is also a way to like make the chaos not wreck your fucking energy shield. So there's a lot of really like niche things like this you can do with it. That's one defensive layer. Another defensive layer I'm looking at with my other character is fire damage or physical damage taken as fire damage. Let me show you how that works. So this is kind of what I'm doing in this league. I'm kind of experimenting with different things that I've never really used before, so I'm getting ready for Path of Exile 2.0 to come out. And Path of Exile 2.0 is actually going to introduce a lot of new shit. You're not going to have 6 links anymore. You're going to have like multiple 6 links. All of your skills can have like a lot of support gems on them. You're also going to have like new item types like spears that can be used with small shields, like a Valkyrie, which is my thing. I really like that. But see, this one, I've got to get one of those Timeless Jewels of Zibakwa, which goes right here, I think. And that's going to change one of these skills into like this Feast of Flesh, which I had to get nerfed last season. But I'm also going to get... Where's my Chieftain at? Chieftain gets... Okay, I'm converting Fizz to Fire, and I'm going to get Avatar Fire. I don't remember how I do it. I haven't really looked into it that much. But what you do is you get your physical damage taken as fire damage, and you increase your fire resist. Now, what does that mean? Let's look at our defenses. Physical damage is mitigated by your armor mainly, and it's mostly for small white hits and things like that. But I only have 8% fizz reduction right now. I don't have a lot of armor because I'm like a spellcasting marauder, which is like a niche build. If you get your elemental resist up to like 75, that's the normal cap. If you get hit by 1,000 damage, you're going to take 250. I said 750 last time, but I meant like 75% reduced, so you get hit for 250. You're taking like a quarter of your damage if you have your max resist. So chaos resist is always going to be lower because chaos resist is hard to get on your gear, but your elemental resist is like that. Now there's a way. The Zabaqua also will give you nodes that have +1 to your max fire resist, I think. And there's some items that give you that too. So you can get it up to like 88%. Now let's imagine if you take 50% fizz as fire. You don't have to worry about that armor because you're already going to be like 50% fizz reduction almost, because half of that damage is going to be taken on your 88% fire resist. I think I already talked about this, didn't I? I think I was talking about it in my guild channel. But yeah, like you get hit for 1,000, you're going to get hit for 500 reduced by your armor, or even fortify if you have fortify or other things that mitigate damage. The other 500 is going to be like 88% off, so it's like almost nothing. Because you're like, your fire resist is so good, it's going to be converting it to fire, and you're going to resist 88% of it. So 500 of it's going to be like 30 or something stupid, ridiculously low. So you're going to be like super tanky, and that's what I've been experimenting with this build. So that's what I think about when I'm making a new build. Is like, a lot of people, if you're dumb and you're new, like I used to be, I used to always go like melee builds, and I'd pick, oh, I'm going to pick which one of these. Like one of these is for two-handers, one of these is for one-handers, and then try to get like increased melee physical damage instead of life. Like life is way more important, defense is way more important. Just being able to like clear maps and do clear speed and kill white shit. It's easy to kill white shit. It's not that hard to get enough damage to do that. All you got to worry about is surviving bosses and doing enough damage to kill bosses before they can kill you. So when you're looking at builds, always think about your defensive layers in your life or your ES or your evasion first, and then worry about getting the damage later, I would suggest. You got this big ES wheel right here, you got this big life wheel right here, and you got this big evasion wheel nobody uses right here, because evasion's kind of like, nobody really uses evasion because it's easier to just go over here, snag this 30% acrobatics, dodge attack hits, 30% chance to dodge spell hits. If you want, you can go down here and get this 40% chance to evade projectiles. If you get all those, you're going to be pretty dodgy even without any evasion at all. But if you're like over here like a ranger or a shadow, it's easy to get plenty of evasion. So if you're looking at Poe Ninja, I should probably show you that. Let's open that up. Do I have this showing? Yeah. So this is Poe Ninja. You're going to use this a lot. You go to there's economy over here. It shows you how much everything's worth. It's the prices of things. Unique armors, for example. Feral's Fur. I told you it's the most expensive one right now. Asinest Gentle Touch. What the fuck? Those are not even hard to get. Holy shit. A friend of mine selling the shit out of these boots right now. I was going to talk about that in a second video about like items and stuff that are like secretly valuable. He's been like buying these maps for 300 chaos and then running it and then getting these boots every time and then selling them for 350 chaos. So every like time he runs a map, he gets an Exile. And he's ridiculously making money, and he's saving up for a headhunter right now. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, if you go to builds, these are the most popular builds in order, and these are the most popular items that are being used in order. These are the most popular skills. Like right now, everybody's playing Carrion Golem. So if you want to figure out what you want to play, what's good in the league, what's meta, you go here, and like Carrion Golem's 18%. So you click that, and you see most Carrion Golems are elementalists. Some of them are occultists. There's one guy here, it's a Hierophant. Then you see over here the main skills and keystones that they get in their passive tree. Like most of them have Mind Over Matter. Most of them have Unwavering Stance. If you click on this, you can actually see their items, like what they were using. Cold iron points, brass dome. Really? Is that how they make carrying golems? Profane proxy, I've never even heard of that. They use all these primordial jewels. They use a glorious vanity with Sabakwa in it. So you can kind of see how other people make their builds, and you can copy them. It even shows like the skill tree. Like this one's an occultist that uses Clay Shaper and Prism Guardian. The chevrons and the Presence Shigula, which I had. Torrent's Reclamation is real popular right now. This is those boots I was telling you about. And Taste of Hate, it's really good. Watcher's Eye Jewel you get from the final, or the Uber Elder. So this is their skill tree. You can just copy their skill tree off of this. If you didn't want to go to YouTube and like look up a build guide, like Mathelification. He's a YouTuber that makes a lot of build guides that kind of for noobs. Like they start out good and then they end up being super expensive if you want to make them like in-game viable, which is kind of like, I don't know. Tarky Cat makes a lot of good builds, or he does like a podcast with a bunch of guys that make a lot of good builds for different kind of like, there's one guy that's SSF specialist, or one guy's a hardcore specialist, I think. So that's kind of a whole little community of dudes. This other guy I've been watching, I can't remember his name because I watched him at work. Maybe it's in my YouTube history. Oh, we don't want to watch my YouTube history. Let's turn that off real quick. I don't know what I've been watching. What's his name? Tripolar Bear. He made a Fire Blade Vortex Herald of Ash bomber. Auto bomber. Let's look at this real quick. Let's look at some gameplay footage. Where's he playing? You can't really see it because it's a tiny window. Grimro is another one. Fire Blade Vortex. This is super popular right now. This is for running Delirium like I was talking about. He's doing that thing with the explodey chest. Remember I was telling you about the explodey chest? You kill one thing, explodes, and it does a chain reaction and kills lots of other things.
So it deals 3% of the maximum life as physical damage around them.
Let's see some more.
And you saw we were killing like, sometimes 10 more expensive items. So
He's just hitting things and it's exploding the whole screen.
I do recommend you guys going
Don't expect this to be happening if you're like a noob player and you're not used to crafting builds that do this. But that's kind of an idea of like how the explodey chest works. There's also Impulse's Broken Heart, which does the same thing if it's shocked. So it's only like 15 chaos for a 5-link on those. So I think it's like real cheap. If you have a way to shock things, you can explode them with shock. So if you're like a lightning trapper, also or lightning miner, nobody uses traps anymore. But like Glacial Cascade miner with some way to shock would be really good. Any kind of trapper or miner or necromancer is really good right now. It's really easy to play. Not a lot of thinking involved if you want to just get into the game and just start out some shit like that. Blade Vortex, I like it, but I don't like having to cast Blade Vortex all the time to keep the thing spinning around you. So I'd need it on some kind of a trigger, because this would be super annoying to me. What the fuck was I also going to talk about? What's popular right now? Oh, I was going to show you that fast as fuck guy. Let's see. Speedy, go zoom. This is a Lacerate build, an AoE melee skill. Like, look at he's just blasting through shit. You look at this and you think, oh, I'm going to make a fucking Lacerate build. But don't do that because it's not really easy to do. He's doing that because he has like 40 exalts on each item equipped probably, or something ridiculous. That's why he's so fast. Like, Molten Strike's really good. Friend Mustache played Molten Strike for like several leagues in a row. You'd use like a claw, really like counterintuitive. You go into like the shadow tree and you would get like crazy extra projectiles, and you would get them to like stack on top of each other somehow, and like, I don't know, there's a way to manipulate the amount of projectiles and the speed at which they do damage. But builds like that are kind of niche. Who's some other people that I watch on Path of Exile? If I just Google Path of Exile, who's some other YouTubers? Gazzy, I just watched his Explodey chest build, like how to craft one today. Badger, I don't know if I ever watched Badger or not. Zizaran, I talked about. MB Extreme, he's really good about certain things. He does like a lot of like gambling in the game. What was that guy? Steel Mage or something like that? He makes a lot of good builds. And then you got Eric Haken. I don't know if you know who Eric Haken is. He does the fucking meme builds, which actually have been turning out to be pretty good. Here's the one I made, the Chad clone. Anti-support. He makes a build that like makes your area of effect 0, and it does it to your nearby allies, so your allies just can't do any damage. So he would go into a game where somebody's supposed to be like doing bosses for you, like a boss service. You pay them money and they kill the boss for you, but they can't do any damage and they don't know what the fuck's going on, and they get wrecked. He's like getting people killed. It's hilarious. And he had all these Worm Blaster builds that like they kept trying to nerf it, and he kept figuring out ways around it. And they're like Worm Blaster the first, Worm Blaster the third, Worm Blaster the fifth, the second. Like if you haven't seen these Worm Blaster builds, go watch them, because Worm Blaster is like there's a flask, you hit it, a bunch of worms pop out, and he makes builds that do more damage the more things you have around you. Like you got a crit, and then it'll cast a shitload of spells on crit. So he'll do that with like a shitload of these worms, and then it'll just explode the whole screen. And he just insta-kill everything in the game. And they kept trying to nerf him, and he kept like figuring out ways around it. This was like real early, and he's still doing like shitloads of damage. Like this was, for this time period, this was a crazy amount of damage. They didn't have explodey chests back then, so this was like nutty. Anyway, I should get back into the game. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, how to make a build. So yeah, if you're like a shadow or something with evasion, you want to get these nodes over here. You want to probably get over here to this health or this evasion node if you're going that way. Most builds also use Heartseeker, which is a crit multi-build if you're doing crit, and this life build. If you're a bow build, you probably want to get one of these bow nodes if you're like poison or you're physical. They usually like split them apart, like different ways of like making a build. Sword nodes, most people don't use swords unless you're bleeding or you're lightning or some weird kind of speed build, but most people prefer axes because you do more top end damage, I think. But if you're doing a bow build, also you got these like cold damage here, mana leech here. This is all like pretty popular stuff. You got this health node down here. If you're dual wielding, you probably want to get these twin towers. Where is that at? They keep moving stuff around. Twin terrors. Here it is. 75 crit chance while dual wielding. That's good. There's another cold damage one here for your elemental build, like frost blades. If you do like extra endurance charges or extra frenzy charges builds, you got a frenzy here and an endurance here. You got an endurance here, and you got pretty like power charges. You got power charges like here and over here. You got to memorize this skill tree. I mean, this thing looks pretty daunting and confusing if you're a new player, but you kind of like learn it after a while and you just kind of know where all the good nodes are. A lot of builds now are using energy shield. They're also using this node right here, Mystic Bulwark. They're using shields because, like I said, shield gives you energy shield recovery on block. So this gives you more chances to block spell damage and mana regen per chance to block spell damage. This gives you spell damage per mana. So like you use this one right here, Arcane Will gives you like crazy more mana. There's like whole mana builds, and you can do like spells that do more damage per mana used on the cost of it. Like Arcane something, or what the heck is it? Arcanist, or what is it called? Archmage. Yeah, Archmage support. More damage the more the spell costs, which is kind of crazy. And then this one over here I showed you the other day, Arcane Swiftness. Cast speed while holding a shield, spell damage per chance to block attack damage. And he gets some like avoid stun, ailments, and block attack and stuff like that. So this node right here, everybody pretty much runs it that runs a shield. Ghost Reaver, some people use Leech Energy Shield instead of life. If you're leeching, I guess. Chaos Inoculation is important to know where that's at. Eldritch Battery. This one, if you use a build that uses like a lot of mana or something, you don't have a lot of mana, you can make your energy shield go over here to your mana and protect your mana instead, and you cast your spells with energy shield instead of mana before you use your mana. Because also, if you're using this one, Mind Over Matter, this is a good like defensive layer. talking about defensive layers, it makes you take damage on your mana, kind of like Diablo 2. What was it? The mana shield, the little bubble above your head. It makes your mana go down instead of your health, like 30% of it. So if you got crazy mana regen, it's like having crazy health regen. Or elemental overload, if you don't crit but you do more elemental damage. This one does crazy more elemental damage if you lower the resist first by hitting them with like a lightning spell, and then you hit them with an ice spell. You hit them with a lightning, they gain lightning resist and they lower ice resist. So then you hit them with the ice resist and it does way more damage. But you kind of got to go back and forth, because if you're doing like a damage over time cold, then it's going to be constantly lower, or like you're going to make the resist go back up. It's pretty confusing. Any minions is probably going to use Sacrifice, and maybe even Spiritual Command, and then you're going to use Righteous Army and Spiritual Aid. It may be this one. So this is like your main Necromancer area right in here. And you got an Elemental area over here for Templars. You got right over here, if you're a melee and you're wondering why you're not doing as much damage, like you hit a bunch of shit and like half the stuff doesn't die, it's because you're missing. You don't have enough accuracy. If you want to be a Juggernaut, you can like use one of your Pantheon or your Ascendancies to give you a lot of accuracy. But if you don't, you got to use Resolute Technique. Hits can't be evaded, but then you can't deal critical strikes, so you don't want to be a crit build. If you want to use accuracy and get your accuracy up to where it's like at least 90% and you're hitting a lot, then you want to go to this node, which is melee crit multiplier. I always get crit multiplier instead of crit chance, because it don't take that much crit chance to crit a lot. But the crit multiplier is like actual damage increase. Unwavering Stance, it's alright, I guess. Can't evade, but you can't be stunned. So if you're like a caster and you're always getting stunned, you probably want to get that. Why does it say I'm on AFK mode now? I'm not AFK. I'm moving my mouse around. So there's a lot of shield nodes if you want to use a shield, but a lot of people don't even run them if they run a shield. Like this big node here. This one I like, but nobody ever uses. It's damage per chance to block attack damage. And it gives you a chance to block attack damage. So it's just straight up damage. I don't know why anybody likes it. Fire damage over time. You got another shield node here. There's a bunch of like impale stuff and bleeding stuff. Like bleeding is like here. This one makes you do more bleeds but less damage, so you can like effectively get more bleeding damage if you're hitting it fast enough or something. And then you got like a certain ascendancy, like Gladiator, I think, makes enemies that are bleeding explode when you kill them. So that's another way to do like the explodey effect if you're bleeding them. But it's kind of hard to get them to bleed. You got to hit them with a hard physical hit to bleed them, I think. So when you're thinking about like what kind of build do I want to make, you got to consider where all these nodes are and like what's easy to actually accomplish. Warcries are kind of new. I never played Warcries because I never liked them in Diablo 2. But you definitely want to get this one right here if you're Warcry, because it makes it insta cast. If you're just like going around like doing the cast every time, it's super annoying and you should probably kill yourself. Blood magic, nobody really uses that, but you can cast spells using your health instead of your mana and just get rid of mana altogether if you have like super crazy regen. And impaling, I didn't talk about impaling, but impaling is like every time you hit something, the next few hits does more damage, and that keeps building and building and building. So like impale is super good if you're doing melee, because your speed goes up and you're doing more damage every time. The longer the fight goes on, you're doing more damage. So that's a good way to kill bosses fast if you're in a fight that's going to last a long time. That's pretty good, I guess. 100% chance to defend with double your armor, even though like armor's not really that good of a defensive layer. So defensive layers, like we were talking about, we got those different methods, so like recovering from your shield, converting your fizz to fire, get your resists up. But you also got stuff like just cursing things with enfeeble, so that things around you do less damage. Cursing them with temp chain, so that they're slower, so their attacks hit you less often. Plus your dodging stuff, you got like your flasks, you get like smoke flasks or like jade flasks or evasion quartz flasks. These all prevent things from hitting you, and if you're not getting hit, you're not taking damage. If you're moving around constantly, you're getting hit way less. Just main thing is just keep moving. If you stop, you're playing like a channeling skill build, then you're probably going to get hit a lot. So you probably need a good way to mitigate that. So like enfeebling things around you, but a blasphemy curse is good. That's kind of a defensive layer. Blinding things. If things around you can't see you, they're not going to be able to hit you very good. And if you're chilling things, like if you're using Vortex, like I was using, it's good because everything around you is froze and it's enfeebled and it's not temp chain. So it's already slowed from the cold and slowed from your temp chains. And then when it does hit you, it barely hits you. And then when it does hit you, you're recovering energy shield from it for energy shield on block. It's like ridiculous. Like that's how you like survive shit. But the main thing about Vortex is you got to be right in the middle of a bunch of shit because it casts a Vortex on your feet. So you're putting yourself in harm's way. And that's how I would always die. I'd get in the middle of a bunch of crap. I'd flame dash into a room. I'd be swarmed. And eventually enough things have hit me that it one-shots me effectively. So that wasn't really... I wasn't enjoying it as much as like... There's a way you can get a certain like unique jewel or something. Like if you shoot a frost bolt and then you cast Vortex on your frost bolt, you'll cast your Vortex away from you. So there's a way to like trigger that and automate it where it all happens automatically. That'd be probably a pretty solid build. Fill the whole room up with like vortexes, but you're not putting yourself in danger. That'd be alright. There's another thing right here. Definitely look at this. Mana reduction on mana reservation. If you're running a lot of auras, an aura bot, you gotta have these nodes right here. This is the only place really you can get it. I think there may be something down in here. I can't remember. There's like this whole web page dedicated to like calculating mana reservations for your auras, how many auras you can run. And my friend Flyja made a whole build like he took an aura bot, which basically you don't do any damage. You just have a group of people that you boost all of their shit. And he got rid of like one of the auras, but he still had like a shitload of auras, like 7 auras or some crap. But he had like skeletons. He would summon a bunch of skeletons and zombies, I think, also. He had a little minion army that was all getting boosted by the aura bot. And like it was way better than like an aura bot because it was like one of these fancy new minion builds that you got now. It was like plowing through shit. And you're pretty much... that's a defensive layer in itself because you have a bunch of minions that are taking all the damage. Like a bunch of skeletons that are swarming around something where the thing can't get to you because of all the minions it's got to go through. There's also one up here that makes your minions explode when reduced to low life, dealing 3% of their life as fire damage. So if you're like constantly summoning enemies, like Summon Raging Spirit, for example, or those phantom thingies, then you want to get something like this. Or using Infernal Legion, which makes things take fire damage. Do more fire damage and then explode. Pretty cool build. Nobody really uses it, but it's supposed to be good. There's a way to like maximize your number of curses you have. Like I said, your charges, your power charges, frenzy charges. Those are all pretty good. Don't go way in heavy into these elemental damage nodes up here. Some of them are alright, but they look way better. Like this is used to like trick me into wasting, like trying to go for damage instead of life. Like if you put all your points into both of these nodes, most people just put them into one side if they do elemental. Stuff like that's a trap. You don't want to get caught into that. There's also over here, like if you use brands or totems, you can like have one less totem and have an additional brand. Or you can't deal damage at all, but you have one extra totem. So the totems has to do all the damage. And when it says you can't deal damage with skills yourself, that doesn't mean you can't cast skills. That means you can still cast curses. You can still summon things, other things that besides the totems. You can still like I don't know, shock things, blind things, put down the fuck with things. There's still ways you can do stuff without actually doing damage yourself and let your totems do all the damage if you don't make a totem build, which pretty powerful totems are if you get them all. Extra health and extra resist and everything. So yeah, your axes, if you're melee, you probably want to go axes. Nobody really uses staffs. I tried it, but staffs are cool to me because they get block chance. Dual wielding used to give you block chance. I don't know if it still does, but there's war staves and then there's spell staves. 2 different kinds. So anyway, that's kind of things you think about. Like you don't have to play Path of Exile to play Path of Exile. You can be sitting at work, bored, and just thinking about Path of Exile, and you're playing Path of Exile. Because this whole skill tree, everything I've been talking about, is just barely scratching the surface. If you know about all the unique items and how they all interact with each other, or could interact with each other, all the different skill gems, which now there's alternate qualities, which do different things that I don't even know about fucking yet. And there's new replica items that are like slightly different versions of the things that I do know about. I don't even know about half of the stuff in Path of Exile. I'm already like overwhelmed with it. So you could just be sitting at work and like thinking up builds and things, and it's like I don't even talk about like. I just want to show you this real quick. This is kind of funny. In your bestiary, I was talking about like the captured beast. Look at the names of these things. This is like that bird body part guild I had. What was that game we were playing? We had the bird body parts, or snakes and colors. I think we did one time. Agony Rake, Shadow Claw, Gruff Tusk, Scum Whale, Shadow Limp, Dire Fangs, Gloom Scar, Sharp Talon. It's like you take one word and you combine it with another word, and you've got a name. Stalker, Yellow, Shadow Walker, Dark Thirst, the Terrifying. It's cool. I like that. Look at that. You get some artwork. Yeah, what are the ones that are like super valuable? I need to look into that. 30% quality, imprint. Let's not hide the unusable ones. Let's look at the ones that don't have it all. Unusable. 6 socket rare. You can add suffix, remove prefix. There's the one that splits the item into 2. Yeah, you can make certain kind of flasks. If you're just starting out and you need like a staunching flask to stop your bleed damage, because you don't have a cannot be corrupted blood on you yet, get you one of those bleed flasks. That's really good. Dousing will put out fire, but it's not really a big deal. These ones open up portals to the bosses, which gives you the boss's gear. Like, which one's feral though? Which one's feral sphere? That's not venomous or Sakawal. Maybe it's Sakawal. Feral sphere. Is that the cat? Yeah, the feral sphere is like a cat item, I think. You got avian, spider, and crab, but there's also aspect of the cat, right? Am I crazy? Oh, let's talk about skipping prophecy chains. If you want to get these things to get your craft for your Pale Council guys. Pale Council is 4 bosses that 3 of them are immune to damage, and 1 of them at a time can be hurt. So you just kill one until it goes immune, and you go around in a circle till you find the one that's able to be killed, and you just keep taking turns killing the different bosses until they go down. It's not that big a deal. I used to be scared to death of it, and I never even wanted to try it because it was like you have to spend all this currency, and I don't know what they are. Didn't know what they did. I'm like, oh god, I'm scared. I'm not even gonna try this, and it's like super easy. And then like I didn't do Atziri for the longest time, for like years, because I was scared of Atziri, because I'd see all these people die to it and stuff, and it's like super expensive. Like these used to be like 80 chaos or something back in the day, something crazy, just to try it. And then like you got to learn it, so it's going to take you 2 or 3 times to learn it, and that's 3 or 4 exhausts just to learn a fight. But now it's like super easy. All you do is you look for the one with the blue armband, then you kill that one because that one's the easiest. When she splits apart into 4, make sure you don't hit the one with the elemental reflect shield. And Uber Atziri, I'm still kind of scared of it. It kind of makes me pee my pants a little bit. These guys here used to be pretty scary. I used to never run those. Like 25 chaos is what the maps used to cost, and now they're pretty easy if you got a good build, which right now I don't really have a build that's good enough to do them. I've done a few of these elder ones, but I know the fight's really good on those, and these too now, except for the Minotaur. I don't really understand how the Minotaur works, or the one at the end of Syndicate. Yeah, it's the crazy bitch at the end of Syndicate, the mastermind. It's real. I don't know what the fuck's happening in that map at all. So we already talked about layers of defense. Skipping prophecy chains, though. We're talking about this right here. Feral Lord 5. So, to get those fragments I was talking about, these things, you got to do like the Feral Lord 1, the Feral Lord 2, Feral Lord 3. And it's kind of annoying, because you got to get them to pop up, and then you got to go do them, and you got to like keep rolling new prophecies till you get to pop up to like 4. Go find out where that's at. And you can get like loot chests now that just drop straight up Feral Lord 5. So as long as I'm not in that quest chain right now, I can just skip it. So let's see where I'm at. Do I have Feral Lord on there? You see there, she's not got anything up here. Like normally she'll say like the Queens. What was the other one called? I can't remember what they're called. But it would say up here what number I'm on if I was. But I'm not on any of them. So I'm going to go ahead and hit. Do I want to do it on this character? Yeah, fuck it. I'll do that. So now I'm already on number 5. So I'll do a Mud Geyser map. I kill the boss. Or he'll be in the room with the boss, I think. Or he'll be in the map somewhere. I kill him, and then he'll drop the piece that I need. So I can just skip all the first 4 chains in that quest. Quest chains. A lot of people don't know that. Like if I hit some more, like Seek Prophecy. That gives you a Regal item. That gives you 2 enchants when you get to the end of the labyrinth. So, Helmet enchants and Uberlab are super expensive, so that's really good to have. You don't want to use that unless you're doing Uberlabs, so I'm going to seal it, because I'm not even in Uberlab. I'm going to have to do some other labs before I get to it, so I don't want this to trigger. So I'm going to seal that away for 1 coin. I'll put it over here. I'm going to get another one. Day of Sacrifice 1. So this is the first part of a Day of Sacrifice. I don't know if that's part of the ones that gives you the fragments, but it's part of a chain. Mysterious Gift. This one I can sell 5 uniques, get another unique back. I want to get things that are like above item level 80 though, so that I want the thing that I get back to be a high item level. It'll give me the lowest one, I think. That's just an alchemy or something. Scouring Orb. There's another quest chain. It's in the library. So if I don't want to do these, I could seal them, but like this is like 5 coins to seal it, so it's either just like go to the library and find it real quick. So you don't want to waste all these coins sealing these. If you could just go do it real quick. Like this. Slaying an Undying Alchemist. So those probably drop in the Act 3 tower. Probably drop in the Scepter of God. I think that's where they spawn. You can look them up on the website. But just do these prophecies over and over again. It's not really worth your time if you already have the enchant. But if you need the... or you could just buy the fragment. Which one am I missing? Probably way easier for me to just like... Volker, Eber, Inya, what's the other one called? I think it starts with an F. So I get that key, I just do this, and then I'm done with that. I don't really need it anymore. There's also a lot of things, recipes you need in your mine. League challenges, we talked about that. Oh, I didn't talk about what they were, though, did I? League challenges, like... There used to be a lot of them that were... What were they, like? Complete unidentified rare maps. I think they got rid of that one. But now it's like complete vendor recipes. So here's the ones I've done. Here's the ones I need to do. Scroll of Wisdom. Isn't that just like sell a portal scroll? So if you don't know what vendor recipes are, you should probably learn those. Yeah. Scroll of Wisdom. Complete vendor recipes, complete. So I just did that. So now I go back to it. Glassblower's Bauble. Any sextant. Okay, so if I sell 3 sextants, I get a higher sextant back. So I sell 3 sextants, I get a higher sextant back. Complete vendor recipes, any sextant complete. What's the other one? Glassblower's Bauble. What the heck is the recipe for Glassblower? Blah, 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 blah. Let me look it up, because I don't know it. I probably sold stuff before that gave me that. 8 blacksmith whetstones. Oh, yeah, I think you could just straight up buy them off of a vendor, too, right? So I'm going to do this. Sell items. That didn't work. Hargan will sell them to you for those. Sell any normal flask with 20 quality. Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
See you soon.
Okay. What? So I used 4 to make the thing to sell it to get 1 back. And I lost my health flask. But I got the challenge complete. Yay me. Didn't seem like it was worth it. I lost my health flask. But, okay. This ring is good if you only use one ring. Just makes it bad.
Welcome.
Get rid of some of this crap in my inventory.
Fate will find.
Those were chromatic recipes. I didn't even tell you. If you have a red, green, and blue link, like my shield right here, if I sold my shield, I would get a chromatic orb because it's all different colors linked. If you sell 7 Veil skill gems and one of these things, you get a Veil orb back. That's a recipe. Oh man, there was some I saw people doing the other day that I didn't even know were a thing that were pretty neat. Can't think of them. If you sell 40% quality worth of skill gems, you'll get a gem cutter's prism. Which we'll see if I have enough. I'll put them all in tab number 3. This one's got 10, 7, 12, 8, 9. That should be 40.
Hello.
I don't count it up exactly. I just do this until it pops up. So now I got one. So I probably got a little bit extra that I'm wasting. Usually I have like a scroll of wisdom fragment in there if you did.
See you soon.
As long as you just get one GCP back, that's pretty close as you're going to get. Waste too much time like thinking it out too much. Also got a bunch of these heists that I can chuck in there. This is oh, it's on a different character. I got a green heist contract. It's like a quest one. I didn't even show you about the blueprints. I showed you that on another video. So yeah, the challenge league things. I just completed that one, so that got me up to whatever number that is. Defeat the Conquerors. I haven't done Sirius yet. If I beat Sirius, I'll get that one. If I do 2 more Grand Heists, which has at least 3 wings revealed and 6 rogues. Well, at least 6 rogues recruited. I've got 9 rogues recruited. Have I not done a Grand Heist since I've got all my dudes? That can't be right. Twin maps mean you have 2 bosses at the end. Heist enchantment mod. Equip weapons or body armor, which have 10 heist enchantment mods. I don't know what the fuck that means. What is a heist enchantment mod? Experimented base types. Experimented base types.
Good day.
Have I not put on an experimented... Is it like a replica... Replica quill ring? Is this not an experimented base?
I'm not swift enough to use this yet.
Give me some decks somewhere. What do I need? Take the gem out. Did that make it go out? No? Is that not an experimented? It must mean something else. Okay. That's weird. What is this? Equip rogues with rare items. So I gotta equip everybody with items. That's not hard. I'll just take the items off of this guy and put them on everybody real quick. Except they have like requirements, like you have to have your skills up a certain way. Turn in 10 or more div cards. Oh. Do I have a set of div cards that is like 10 or more? 9 for tabula. Nah, that's probably some pretty valuable stuff because I don't have anything that takes 10 div cards. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's 51 minutes. I think we pretty much talked about enough stuff. So I think by now, I showed you Poe Ninja, right? We got Path of Exile Wiki. This is really good for learning about items, how things work. I should show you Poe Affix. I don't really use it anymore because Poe DB is probably more accurate. But this was really good if you want to know, like, let's look at like gloves, for example. This shows you like your prefixes over here, your suffixes over here. If you want to know what's a prefix and what's a suffix, or to just tell you if you hold Alt on your items, like I showed you. But if you want to figure out like, oh, like what's the best 3 prefixes, you probably want to have life. You want to probably have adds fizz to attacks, maybe. I don't know. But like you don't want to get like a plain gloves usually, because gloves, if you get a shaper or an elder glove, you get these extra mods over here. So you can get extra skills, support gems on your shaper ones, like mana leech, slower projectiles, increased damage. So if you're using a projectile, this would give you slower projectiles but to do more damage. And then also you could get faster casting if you're casting projectiles. So if you had these two mods on a shaper glove and it's got 4 links already, this is basically a 6 link on your gloves. And if you get like eye level 84, because this one's 84 required, you can get level 20 faster casting and level 20 slower proj. So that's like 6 link armor. You got it on a glove, so it's a lot easier to get. That's what they call a pseudo 6 link, because it's not a true 6 link, but it might as well be. Or I was showing a guy the other day about this staff. Which one was it? I don't have it anymore because I gave it to him. What the fuck staff was it? Whispering Ice staff.
Welcome.
You turn in these dip cards, you get a Whispering Ice staff. Now this is only a 1-socketed one, but I made it a 6-socket one. I don't want to waste my shit just showing you. But this has a level 1 Ice Storm, which isn't even a skill that you can buy off of the skill gem person. This is like a rain of fireballs or a blade fall, but it's ice. So it rains. It's like a blizzard source, basically. So what you want to do is you get 6 sockets, and then whatever you put into the staff itself supports this skill that's on the staff inherently. So you don't even have to have them linked. But unless you have like you want a leech or something, you got to have the leech, or you want to have it like a cast on crit. You got to have the cast on crit linked to the other skill you want to cast when your Ice Storm crits, because that has to know what you want to cast on crit, right? But normally, you just put any support gems in there, and it's going to boost your Ice Storm. Let me show you how Ice Storm works, if I got enough intelligence to even wield such a beast. So we got Ice Storm now. There's Ice Storm. Pretty big area of effect, so maybe you don't want that much area of effect. Oh shit. Don't know if I'll be able to show you this with this little measly character. He's such a noob. Let's see what skills we can buy.
Hello.
Anyway,
Watch yourself.
I'm not gonna be able to show you unless I switch characters. Let me just do that, because this is pretty cool. Shout out to Nayart. He's the one I was showing how this works. So I'll get my T2 occultist character, which has no armor or gloves or amulet right now because I gave it all to my other guy. So I'll grab this out. I guess I am going to spend some jewelries because I want to show you how this works. Alright, let's get some blues. Three blues will be fine. Okay, so you go to Lily. We want to buy Spell Cascade, Conk Effect, and I don't know, like Efficacy or something, some like extra damage. Or I've got a bunch already in my inventory. So let's go to Act 10. This is a level 1 skill. Don't expect it to do. I'm not even showing you guys. Holy fuck. How long have I had it like that? Oh my god, I have a fucking screen off. So this is the Whispering Ice Staff I was trying to show you, which apparently was not. Gives you level 1 Ice Storm. Put that on there. You put on Spell Cascade. Remember, this is the I don't know if you even saw this. This is Ice Storm. We put on Conk Effect. Now it's a much smaller area of effect, and it does way more damage. You put Spell Cascade on it. Spell Cascade makes it cast like 3 versions of the skill that kind of overlap, like they cascade over each other. So now I cast it. You can see it's a lot longer, and in the middle part where it overlaps, it's going to be like triple damage. And if you put Controlled Destruction in there, it's even more damage. But it costs way more mana. And you got to stand here and constantly cast it, but it's doing like shitload of damage apparently. I don't have any life right now because I haven't got anything reserved because I don't have my armor on or my shield. I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, it's a level 1 skill in Act 10, killing everything in Act 10 pretty fast with 4 link. Yeah. See, probably should be wearing armor when you do stuff. I highly recommend wearing armor. So that's just a little quick explanation of how to do builds. Next time we'll talk about items, how to craft items, some other tips and tricks like target farming certain things, and we'll look at PoE trade and how to use some of the other websites and add-ons and things. So that's it for this one.